This to me is the first big trade of the offseason, and it comes per, again, Mr. Wojnarowski. The Chicago Bulls are trading two-time all-defensive guard Alex Caruso to the OKC Thunder for guard Josh Giddey. Sources tell ESPN. And I'm not going to lie, chat. Maybe this is my 2K mind working. I just don't know what Alex Caruso's value was out there right now. But for what it is right now in their situation, Josh Giddey is a pretty decent return. I think Chicago made a mistake holding to these pieces way longer than when they should have. You know what I'm saying? I think they should have traded Alex Caruso in the trade deadline. Or on the trade deadline, excuse me. Or before it. I think they should have traded a lot of their players going into the last season, going into the trade deadline, all of these things. But now, for what it is, you can't go back in time. For what Alex Caruso is at this point in time, I think getting first of all, establishing that you are going into a rebuild by trading, a guy like Alex Caruso for a young piece is a step in the right direction. But getting in return I understand Josh Giddey's a nasty guy. But getting in return a 21-year-old, going to be 22, 23 at the end of next season, who, in a diminished role after J-Dub and Chet's ascension, SGA's ascension, and all of that team's ascension, still averaged 12, 6, and 5 on 48% shooting from the field. His sophomore year in the league was putting up 17, 8, and 6 on decent efficiency. I still think that's a solid return for what Chicago is doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Josh Giddey, all jokes aside, is going to turn into Luka on the Chicago Bulls. I'm not saying Josh Giddey's about to be an all-NBA player for the Chicago Bulls, but I just think Josh Giddey at the end of the day is a young asset with potential, with high potential at that, and giving him more opportunities in Chicago than he has in OKC is a step in the right direction for him as a player and is a step in the right direction for Chicago as a team. Why not let it fly? You know what I'm saying? Why not let it fly? You're just starting your rebuild. You're just trying to get young draft assets. Yeah, not young draft assets, just young assets. Maybe you can work himself up to an 18, 8, and 8 guy. He's still not the shooter that he's supposed to be. He's still not the defender he's supposed to be. Hell, he's not the scorer he's still supposed to be. But then you flip that for something else, and now you got something else from a 23, 24-year-old Josh Giddey. Like, who knows, bro? But all I know is I would rather have that opportunity to do that than hanging on to Alex Caruso. You know what I'm saying? So for the Chicago Bulls, macro or what, big scope, whatever the proper term is, I don't know, macro or micro, big scope, L still for the Chicago Bulls for being in the situation that they're in, because I do think they probably would have gotten a bigger return if they traded Alex Caruso sooner. However, for what it is, I think it's a B+ trade. It's a B+ trade for the Chicago Bulls, bro. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, though, this is a A+ trade. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, this is a A+ trade. And I think it's because of the fact that OKC, even last season, was clearly a championship contender. I think last season, they proved that they are here to win. And even against Dallas, who ended up making it to the finals, that I don't even think that was a series of, we got to reevaluate who the Thunder are. There wasn't really a SGA pack in the air. The Thunder were frauds. That was actually one of the few series in these playoffs where, hey, man, one team just outbeat the other and we can just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? And if we roll out the dice and, you know, the OKC Thunder got a different seed in this computer generated game, then maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder just win in a different universe. You know what I'm saying? But for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are trying to compete now, who are trying to contend now, getting rid of Josh Giddey, who for the now is not the floor spacer that he needs to be, is not the defender that he needs to be, is not the shot creator that he needs to be, and getting in return a guy that every team in the league would love, a guy who is a all defensive caliber guard, not even caliber, he's an all defensive guard. He's been in DPOY votings the last 2 years. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He shot 41% from 3 on 5 attempts last season. Averaged 10 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, giving you 2 steals and a block a game as a, is he 6'6", 6'5" guard? And also, I think more importantly for the Oklahoma City Thunder, giving you championship experience. Giving you championship experience. Alex Caruso was a really big part of the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers. You know what I'm saying? He is already a proven guy that can work on a championship winning team. Now, obviously back then he wasn't what he is now. You know, he had a reduced role, but he was still giving you 24 minutes of really good defense and a little bit of shooting for the Los Angeles Lakers. But I think this move is Oklahoma City finding their Drew Holiday. I'm going to keep it a whole stack. I think even from like who Drew is for the Celtics, I think there's a lot of parallels between that and Alex Caruso for the Thunder. Former champion, going on to a team, gonna be a guard, gonna be a defensive guard, in a role that obviously isn't gonna be asking too much from Alex Caruso. They're not gonna be asking him to be, you know, a playmaker. They're not gonna be asking him to be a scorer off the dribble. They're gonna be asking him to be a defender and a shooter and an athlete. And I think Alex Caruso is perfect for that job. And also a great locker room guy. Alex Caruso is perfect for that job. And if the Thunder roll out a lineup, if there's what would be their starting lineup next year, chat? It would probably be SGA, Caruso, Lou Dort, J-Dub, and Chet. With let me look at their bench. Let me look at their bench. Oh my God, not NBQA. With a really solid bench as well. Let's see. Their bench consists of Kason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, the other J-Dub. You know what I'm saying? Kenrich Williams. All of these dudes. I don't know if all of them are returning, bro. That's a scary squad, bro. That's a scary squad. You know what I'm saying? And there is no questions of them not having that tier 1 player. SGA is that tier 1 player. He was second in MVP voting last season. Even with, you know, the circles that I'm talking about, a lot of people had SGA at 3 in those discussions. Another year of improvement from J-Dub, another year of improvement from Chet. And I don't even think OKC's done, bro. They are. I don't think they have 5 guys that can put the ball on the floor, but I do think they have length. They have size in every position. They have shooters in every position. And in that starting lineup, no, they don't have 5 dudes that can put the ball on the floor. And you can just, you know what I'm saying, 5 out the way that the Celtics do, because of Lou Dort and Alex Caruso. But SGA makes up for a lot of that. I'm expecting an improvement from J-Dub, and I'm also expecting an improvement from Chet Holmgren. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that defense with Chet, Lou Dort, and Alex Caruso, bro, that shit is going to be a problem, bro. Yo, that. And don't forget about SGA, because SGA isn't a slouch on defense, bro. J-Dub isn't a slouch on defense, too, bro. That defense is about to be ridiculous next season, man. That's about to be ridiculous. And I'm going to keep it a whole stack. I've also heard some rumors about KCP not returning to Denver. If Denver's depth deteriorates for another season, and they're not the well-rounded team that they were even this last season, let alone in 2023, I think for me, the favorites coming out of the West next season is actually the Oklahoma City Thunder now, bro. Is actually the Oklahoma City Thunder now. And obviously out East, I think the favorites are still going to be the Celtics. But, yeah, nah. OKC is another one of those teams that I think is setting the blueprint as to how an NBA team should be ran in 2024. When we talk about well-ran organizations in 2024, chat, and what the blueprint should be for other franchises, I think Boston is up there. I think OKC is up there as 1 and 2. After that, I'm looking at Denver. And if you even want to put Denver in tier 1, that's fine. I'm putting Denver. I'm putting New York. I'm putting Minnesota. I'm putting Minnesota in there. And then maybe another tier of like the Pacers and the Mavs. Those are the blueprints as to how to run a franchise in the league, bro. But yeah, no. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they are going to be a problem next season. And I'm excited to see that team. My biggest concern with the Thunder, though, is... Now, mind you, I am optimistic about this. And I do think it is going to work out for them. But I am a little bit scared of Chet and J-Dub not improving as fast as they need to be now that they are trying to win now. You know what I'm saying? I think they are making moves to have a championship run as soon as next season. Honestly, they were trying to have a championship run this last season, right? And I think the biggest example of this is the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Like the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland played great before Donovan Mitchell came. Evan Mobley showed a lot of potential. They already had Jared Allen on the team, I believe. Really pretty decent young core. But now that Donovan Mitchell is a guy who's 27, 28, trying to win right now, especially, that's why they brought Donovan Mitchell there, is to try to win sooner rather than later. The development of Darius Garland and Evan Mobley it didn't catch up fast enough to the point where Cleveland's timeline just all synced up. You know what I'm saying? Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are just not ready right now to compete for a championship, but Donovan Mitchell is. By the time Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are ready to do that, Donovan Mitchell may either already be out, or he might be 32, 33 and a completely different player. So, essentially what I'm getting at is, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because even next season saying, all right, this is a red flag, is kind of crazy, because Chet just had his rookie season and J-Dub just had his second season in the league this past season, I believe. Yeah, his second season. But 3-4 years down the line, if they're still who they are right now, if J-Dub doesn't really improve from who he is right now, if Chet doesn't really improve from who he is right now, and while, mind you, still being productive players in the league, like J-Dub doing this for the next 3-4 years is still going to be a productive player. 19, 4 and 5, really efficient, provide you defense, provide you playmaking. Chet, for the next 4 to 5 years, giving you 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, can space the floor, put the ball on the floor a little bit, hit some free throws. Still going to be a solid player. But if they don't improve and it's still like, yo, SGA got to backpack us, that's not a good sign for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I am, again, optimistic that they are actually going to improve and be the players that they need to be. And, we're gonna be looking at a 3-headed monster in OKC. At the very least, a 2-headed monster in OKC. But yeah, man. Shout out to this trade though. I fuck with this trade.